The Sixers have fired Doc Rivers as their head coach, and you'll be lying if you said you were surprised by this news. And overall, it was inevitable. It needed to happen. Now, this should be one of many big off-season decisions for this organization. What direction do you go in? Do you retool the roster? Do you go for a Utah Jazz type approach, or do you run it back one more time? You know, there's going to be big decisions to be made, and I feel like this is one of many. So they need to take their time and evaluate who's going to be the next guy for this massive job that needs to be taken. Now, before I give my opinions on who I want to see next, please like the video, share the video to your friends, subscribe if you like my content. I'll appreciate it a lot. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. So what led up to this firing? So obviously, we've not made it out of the second round. 3 straight years with Doc, second round exits. Now, I'd say out of all the second round exits, this is probably the one where Doc actually coached okay. And I'm seeing a lot of non-Sixers fans question why he's been fired. But think about it this way. He coached decently in this series, but you could argue that the Atlanta Hawks series, in the Atlanta Hawks series and last year's series against the Heat, he was a large reason why we lost those series because of the DeAndre Jordan minutes and the Ben Simmons issue against the Hawks. So when your leash is that long and you finally have a series where you coach okay, but it's still the same end result, you have to go. His leash has been long and he's kind of used up his excuses, so it was about time that he got fired. Now, it's a thing where you got to hold your stars accountable. I'm happy he's gone, respectfully to Doc, but also Harden and Embiid needs to be held accountable. Do you bring James Harden back? Now, one thing that leads me to believe that there's a very high chance he gets brought back is by the candidates. So I believe either Shams or Woj tweeted that the main candidates the Sixers are going to be looking at are Nick Nurse, Frank Vogel, Mike Budenholzer, Sam Cassell, Mike D'Antoni, and who have I not mentioned? Oh yeah, Monty Williams. So out of those candidates, Mike D'Antoni stands out to me the most. Not because I want Mike D'Antoni, but if that happens, is that purely a Harden hire? Now, realistically, there's only 3 coaches that I'd really consider out of this list. And those coaches are, in this exact order, Nick Nurse, Sam Cassell, and Monty Williams. So what's my reasoning for someone like Monty Williams, who's on my third in this list? He was previously a Sixers assistant. You could argue that he's a very good coach, but the reason why I'm a bit skeptical is because, similar to the Sixers, he's been blown out in 2 back-to-back Game 7s. Well, not back-to-back Game 7s, but he's been blown out in a Game 7, and he's kind of had the issue of he might be a good motivator, but his coaching is still a bit questionable. So for that reason, Monty's a bit on edge. Sam Cassell being second is because we love him as an assistant. He has a great relationship with a lot of the players, especially Tyrese Maxey. But at the end of the day, this is a huge job. For a first-time head coach, this could be very daunting. But I'll be real, Sam Cassell would have had the job if Nick Nurse wasn't available. As Sixers fans, we know how good of a coach Nick Nurse is. He's a defensive genius. He knows how to throw different schemes at different teams. He always gave Embiid hell. And I feel like with the experiences we've had against the Raptors, Nick Nurse screams to be the perfect man for this job. He holds guys accountable. He holds his hat on defense. So these things where Embiid's being lazy and pick and roll situations defensively won't happen under Nick Nurse, in my opinion. And he's a championship level coach. Nick Nurse is a very good coach, and he should be number 1 on the Sixers board for real. So realistically speaking, think my only worry is that Daryl Morey's relationship with Harden and Mike D'Antoni, that really does scare me. Not because Mike D'Antoni is a bad coach, but with what we need, I don't think D'Antoni's the guy. I feel like someone like Sam Cassell would be a very good hire, and especially Nick Nurse for the reasons I named earlier. But Mike D'Antoni is someone I really wouldn't want to go to. But out of the options I've seen, I definitely don't want Mike Budenholzer or, respectfully, Frank Vogel. Nah. If you're going to fire Doc Rivers, you can't have a marginal upgrade or guys with similar question marks to Doc Rivers, which in my opinion Frank Vogel and Mike Budenholzer do. Well, not even Mike Budenholzer, especially Frank Vogel and Monty Williams, which is controlling the locker room, getting guys motivated, and questionable decisions, which is why Frank Vogel got fired and is why Monty Williams in the end got fired. So you need to go with someone like Nick Nurse as the main leading candidate, because I feel like he's a massive upgrade to Doc Rivers. Sam Cassell is a question mark, but from what we've seen, he's a very, very good candidate as well. I'm surprised Dave Yeager is on this list because he's a very good previous head coach. He's on the Sixers backroom staff, but that's fine. He's an assistant coach, sorry. But as a whole, I feel like Sam Cassell and Nick Nurse should be the two that you zoom in on, and Monty Williams should be a candidate in the background too to also look at. But I feel like his resume in certain big games is what really kills Monty Williams' case for me. But at the same time, I still feel like he's a better coach than Doc Rivers, and he's a very good coach. Now, what this all depends on is the direction the franchise is going in. Are you going to retool the roster, so slightly change a few complementary pieces like Tobias Harris, who might become more movable in the last year of his deal, and your complementary pieces like Daniel House, Jalen McDaniel, switch up a couple guys there? Or will you take a Utah Jazz type of approach where you trade your two main guys and retool? Because for them it clearly worked. And realistically saying, even though Embiid had a stinker of a Game 7, you get absolute haul for him. So those decisions will definitely impact the type of coach you go for. Because if you take that approach of doing a Utah Jazz, hiring someone like Sam Cassell is extremely logical. But if you aim to still be a contender and essentially run it back and change a couple pieces, then Nick Nurse is definitely your guy. But those are just my opinions in it. Like, obviously they might be different to yours, so let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think, what you guys believe should happen. I'll be reading them and replying to your comments, because I really want to see you guys' opinion on this situation. But that's all I really got for this video. Stay blessed, people, and I'm out. Peace.